So you've pulled back to give her space. You're thinking it's the secret to creating attraction. You've seen the advice, you've heard the theories. By creating distance, you believe you're creating desire. But what if I told you that by doing this, you might have accidentally triggered a deep-seated anxiety you never even knew was there? Right now, her initial confusion could be silently reshaping the entire power dynamic of your relationship, and, with it, her desire for you. This isn't just about making her miss you. She's on a profound psychological journey that you started, but you no longer control. Her mind is now a battlefield of conflicting emotions. The outcome will either cement your place as a man of high value or brand you as just another disappointment. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain and break down, moment by moment, what a woman can feel when you give her space. We're not talking about cheap tricks or manipulative games. We're exploring the raw, unfiltered psychological response to your silence. And most importantly, you'll learn how to navigate this delicate time to build undeniable, lasting attraction, not destroy it. What you're about to learn will change the way you see space and silence in your relationships forever. Let's dive in. Section 1. The initial shock and the pattern. Interrupt. For many women, the first thing they feel when you suddenly go quiet isn't curiosity or intrigue. It's a jolt. It's shock. You have to understand, many people are raised on a certain relational script, written by society, movies, and shared stories. In this traditional script, the man is often the pursuer. He initiates, he texts, he calls, he makes his interest known. While modern relationships are far more diverse, many women are still used to being pursued. It can be the baseline reality of their dating lives. So when you, the man who was showing consistent interest, suddenly stop, it's not just a change in behavior. It's a full-blown pattern interrupt. Imagine you're listening to a piece of music you love. The melody is building. You're totally lost in it. And then right at the crescendo, it just stops. Total jarring silence. What's your brain's first reaction? It's a jolt of, wait, what just happened? That's not right. Your mind craves the resolution. It needs to know why the pattern broke. That's precisely what she can experience. Your silence is the sudden stop in the song. One day, there were good morning texts and a reassuring rhythm of connection. The next, nothing. Just a void. Her brain, accustomed to the rhythm of your pursuit, flags this void as an error, a problem that needs to be solved. And a common knee-jerk reaction is almost never, oh, he's creating attraction through scarcity. With near certainty, it is, what did I do wrong? This is that immediate, reflexive turn towards self-blame. Her mind becomes a frantic detective, and your last few interactions are the crime scene. She might replay your last conversation, word for word. She'll scrutinize her last text. Was it too eager? Not flirty enough? Did she say something that put you off? The silence you've created becomes a blank screen where she projects her deepest insecurities. The core of this initial shock is a loss of control. She was in a predictable dynamic, and your silence just yanked that feeling of stability away. She's no longer the gatekeeper of her attention. She's on the outside, wondering why the gates are closed. This jolt, this pattern interrupt, is the first step. It clears the board and erases the old dynamic. But it's a volatile and confusing place for her to be, and her first instinct is often to solve the puzzle of your absence by casting herself as the problem. Section 2. The onset of deep-seated anxiety. Once the initial shock wears off, it can be replaced by something deeper, a rising tide of anxiety. This isn't just a simple worry. For many women, especially those with what psychologists call an anxious attachment style, your withdrawal can trigger a primal fear of abandonment. To understand what's happening, you have to get this concept. From infancy, we develop a blueprint for how we connect with others. For a good number of people, that blueprint is defined by a fear of being left behind and a powerful need for reassurance from a partner. A person with this wiring feels most secure with consistent contact and clear signs of affection. Their self-worth is often unconsciously tied to the stability of their relationship. When you give her space, you aren't just being quiet. To a woman with an anxious attachment system, you are simulating abandonment. Your silence isn't an empty space. It feels like an active threat. You've unknowingly pressed a giant red button labeled fear of abandonment. The effects can be immediate and physiological. Psychologists note this kind of separation can cause cortisol levels, the body's stress hormone, to spike. She may feel like she's in a state of fight or flight. Her mind can start racing with catastrophic scenarios. He's lost interest. He's met someone else. I wasn't good enough. These aren't just thoughts. They feel like facts. Research shows that for someone with an anxious attachment style, a week of no contact can feel like a month in their emotional reality. This creates a torturous internal battle. One part of her is screaming to reach out, to text, to do anything to close that terrifying gap and get the reassurance she craves. But another part of her holds back. She's been taught that chasing a man who is pulling away makes her look needy or desperate. She's caught in a paralyzing bind. Her attachment system is demanding she seek connection to feel safe, while her social conditioning is telling her that doing so will only push you further away. This internal war is exhausting. It eats up her mental energy, and her sense of value in her own mind can become directly proportional to your attention. Since your attention is at zero, her feeling of self-worth can plummet. This isn't a sign she's weak. It's a testament to the power of early attachment conditioning. You thought you were just giving her room to miss you, but you may have actually triggered a primal survival mechanism that is now flooding her system with anxiety and self-doubt. Section 3. The detective phase. Searching for clues. An anxious mind can't stay still. It needs a problem to solve. In the absence of information from you, a woman might enter what can only be described as the detective phase. Your silence has created a mystery, and she may feel compelled to solve it. Her first stop is often her own memory. She might start replaying every recent interaction. That last date? She's dissecting it. Your words, your tone, the look in your eyes? That last text exchange? She might read it over and over, analyzing punctuation and response time, searching for the black box recorder that will explain the sudden crash. When memory gives no clear answers, she may turn to the modern source of all relational intelligence, social media. This is where your silence can become deafeningly loud. She might check if you're online. A green dot next to your name is no longer passive, it's active evidence. He's online, but he's not talking to me. This single observation can send a fresh wave of speculation. It confirms that your silence is a deliberate choice. She may look at your activity. Did you post a story? She's watching it, analyzing the background, the people you're with. Are you liking other people's photos, especially photos of other women? Each like can feel like a breadcrumb she follows, constructing a narrative of your life without her. Your inaction has become your most significant action. Your silence isn't an absence of communication. It's a powerful, ambiguous message that she is now desperately trying to decode. Her mind hates a vacuum, and you've created a massive one. She will fill it with her thoughts, and those thoughts often gravitate toward her deepest fears. This detective phase is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a period of intense emotional distress for her. On the other, she is now investing a huge amount of mental and emotional energy into you. You are occupying prime real estate in her mind. The more she analyzes, the more she thinks about you. The more she tries to solve the puzzle of your silence, the more central you become to her emotional state. All right, we're about to get into the most critical part of this whole thing, the tipping point, where her feelings either sour into resentment or morph into a powerful intrigue that rebuilds your value in her eyes. If you're starting to see how these hidden dynamics work and you're getting real value from this breakdown, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. My whole mission here is to give you the tools to navigate the complexities of attraction with confidence and integrity. We go deep like this every single week. Now, let's get back to the crucial next phase. Section 4. The tipping point, resentment, or renewed interest. After the shock, anxiety, and obsessive detective work, a woman arrives at a fork in the road. The emotional pressure has to go somewhere. It will either curdle into resentment or transform into compelling intrigue. The path she takes often depends on the frame of your silence. This is where your whole strategy will either work brilliantly or backfire completely. Let's look at the path to resentment first, because every man needs to be aware of this danger. Path A. The road to resentment. If she feels your silence is a manipulative game, a punishment, or a passive-aggressive power play, her anxiety will start turning into anger. Women often have a finely tuned radar for inauthenticity. If you're pulling back not because you're genuinely busy, but because you're sitting by your phone trying to teach her a lesson, she will likely sense it. When silence is used as a weapon, it stops being about creating space and becomes about inflicting pain. This is what psychologists call the silent treatment, a recognized form of emotional abuse. It communicates disdain and makes her feel psychologically erased. Research shows the brain processes this kind of social exclusion in the same areas that it processes physical pain. You are, in effect, causing her real suffering when she senses this manipulative intent. The emotional safety in the relationship is destroyed. That's the unspoken guarantee that you won't intentionally use her emotions against her. When your silence feels like a cruel tactic, you're communicating that you are not an emotionally safe person for her. Her thoughts will shift from, "What did I do wrong?" to, "Who does he think he is?" The anxiety that was turned inward now turns outward into righteous anger. She'll start to see you as weak, not strong. After all, only an insecure man needs to resort to games to feel powerful. The respect she had for you evaporates, replaced by contempt. From here, recovery is almost impossible. Path B, the gateway to intrigue. Now, let's look at the other path. This is the path that opens when your silence is authentic. It happens when you have a genuine foundation of respect, and you are truly giving her space, because you are occupied with your own life, your own mission, your own purpose. In this scenario, her anxiety and confusion still exist, but they aren't seen through a lens of malice. Instead of feeling like you're punishing her, she starts to wonder what's so important in your life that it's pulling your focus. Her internal story shifts from, "He doesn't care about me," to, "What is he doing that's more important than me?" This is where you may benefit from a concept called scarcity. As long as you were constantly available, your attention was an abundant resource with a lower perceived value. By authentically pulling back, you've made your attention, and by extension, you, scarce. And human nature often dictates that we value what is scarce. Her mind, which was filled with anxiety about what she did wrong, now starts to fill with curiosity about what you are doing right. She starts to wonder about your world, a world she now realizes doesn't revolve around her. This creates mystery. Women aren't attracted to a man they can read like a book on day one. They are attracted to a man with layers, with a depth that suggests a life beyond just winning her over. Your absence stops being a painful void and starts becoming a tantalizing question mark. Who are you, really? What drives you? This is the moment her confusion begins to transform into intrigue. She starts re-evaluating you. You're no longer just the nice guy who was always available. You are now a man with his own frame, his own priorities. This re-evaluation is the tipping point that lays the groundwork for the most potent form of attraction, respect. Section 5. The recalibration of power and attraction. When a woman crosses that tipping point from anxiety to intrigue, the entire dynamic can shift. It's a recalibration of power, not about dominating someone, but about building mutual respect and perceived value. This is where her attraction for you can actually grow in your absence. The foundation of this shift is genuine respect. Clingy, needy behavior, while often well-intentioned, can communicate a lack of self-respect and a void in a man's own life. It gives off a chasing energy, which is the opposite of the stable, grounded energy that often creates attraction. When you give her space authentically, because you're focused on your work, your health, your mission, you non-verbally communicate that you have your own life in order. You're demonstrating that your happiness and self-worth aren't dependent on her validation. It's the core of what many great thinkers taught. Our strength must come from within, from the things we can control, our actions, our purpose, our character. When she sees this, she can begin to respect you on a deeper level. She sees a man who values himself and his time. She sees a man who is self-sufficient, not emotionally dependent. This signals stability and substance. As the composer Claude Debussy supposedly said, "Music is the space between the notes." Attraction often grows in that space apart, where she has room to reflect on your value, miss your presence, and let her own feelings intensify without being smothered. This isn't about taking power from her. It's about you taking power back for yourself. You are no longer operating from a frame of seeking her approval. You're operating from a frame of self-approval. This confidence is magnetic. The mystery you've created by having your own life makes her want to be a part of it. She may start to feel she has to earn a place in your world, rather than you constantly auditioning for a place in hers. The desire she feels now is different. The initial attraction might have been based on looks or charm, but this new, deeper attraction is based on respect for your character. She sees you as a high-value man, not because you said it, but because you showed it through your strategic inaction. Section 6. her decision, and the next move. After a period of your authentic absence, after she's journeyed through shock, anxiety, and intrigue to a place of renewed respect, she will almost inevitably make a move. The emotional tension needs a release, but it will rarely be a direct confession of feelings. More often than not, it will be a test. She now sees you as a man with a strong frame and a life of his own. But a part of her needs to check. Is this new, powerful frame real, or was it just an act? Her next move is designed to find out. The test often comes as a casual, low-investment message. A simple, "Hey, how have you been?" Or maybe she sends a meme or a song that's an inside joke. The content is almost irrelevant. The message itself is a feeler sent out to gauge your reaction. How you handle this single moment can validate all the powerful work you've done or undo it in an instant. The average guy, who's been anxiously waiting for her text, makes a critical mistake. The second her name pops up, he feels a surge of relief. He immediately fires back an enthusiastic, long-winded message. He might ask her out right away or question where she's been. In doing so, he instantly signals he was just waiting by the phone. He communicates neediness. He fails the test. All the mystery and respect he just built evaporates. The man who understands these dynamics responds differently. He sees the message for what it is, a test of his frame. He doesn't respond immediately. He's a busy man, after all. He lets some time pass, an hour, maybe a few. This delay isn't a game. It's a reflection of his reality. When he does respond, his reply is calm, brief, and positive, but it doesn't give away his power. For example, if she texts, "Hey, how have you been?" A needy response is, "I've been good. Was starting to wonder about you. So great to hear from you. We should definitely catch up this week. Are you free Thursday or Friday?" A secure, confident response is, after a few hours, "Hey Sarah, doing great. Been slammed with this new project. Hope you're well." See the difference? The first one is a flood of neediness. The second is calm, confident, and masculine. It's friendly, but not fawning. It subtly communicates his life is full and that he is the prize. He isn't chasing, he's inviting. By passing this test, you confirm her new perception of you. You prove your absence wasn't a trick. It was a genuine reflection of your life. This, paradoxically, makes her feel safe. She knows she's dealing with a man who is emotionally stable and in control of himself. From here, you can slowly and calmly take the lead again, but on your terms, after she's put in a bit more effort. So, let's break it down. Giving a woman space is one of the most powerful and misunderstood tools in attraction. It's a journey that can start with a jarring shock and a wave of anxiety you unknowingly trigger. We've seen how her mind might enter a frantic detective phase, lodging you firmly in her thoughts. We've dissected the critical tipping point, understanding that if your silence is seen as a manipulative game, it breeds resentment. But if it's authentic, a byproduct of you genuinely focusing on your own life, it creates a powerful mystery and scarcity that can lead to intrigue. This is what shifts the dynamic from you being the chaser to you being the prize. Let me be clear, this is not about playing games. The ultimate goal is not to make a woman feel anxious. The goal is to build a life for yourself that is so full, so compelling, and so aligned with your purpose that your absence is genuinely felt. It's about becoming a man whose presence is a gift, not a given. The attraction she feels will then not be for a strategy you used, but for the man you have become. Now, if you're ready to stop guessing and start deeply understanding the psychology of attraction, I've put together something to take you to the next level. In the description, there's a link to my advanced coaching program where we go even deeper. Click that link to learn more and to take control of your dating life for good. And before you go, check out this next video on the 7 signs her interest is fading and how to reverse it, so you can keep building on what you've learned today. Thank you for your time. Now go and build your kingdom.